Good morning. How are you today?
Alan Brandt is the owner of Bayles Leather House on Route 96 in Victor, a family business that has been going for 80 years.
Wow. That's even before I was born.
You sure?
I'm sure.
80 years.
Thanks, Alan.
Yeah. I didn't say it.
I
would
bought
never.
my first furniture 40 years ago from Alan's father from the store on East Avenue.
Really?
It was the most beautiful store in Rochester.
Oh.
And I wish I had that furniture now. You know, I gave it away to friends, you know, who had children going off to college. But
Whereabouts on East Ave was it?
It was right at Winton and East Avenue across from the Brighton. And it was at that location for about 40 years and originally started down in Rochesterville.
See, because that's right near me. I live right near East, just off East Ave, right there. And how long has it been since it wasn't there?
About 15 years.
Wait, let me think
And now
about
there's, then they finally tore it down about 5 years or so.
Okay, where the box man was.
Exactly, in the record archive.
Oh, okay.
Archive.
Okay. Gosh, that's some staying power. I mean, if you can stay in business and still actively in business for 80 years, you're doing something right. What is it?
Work. Just being there every day.
Yeah.
Hoping to have a pulse of what people want. And one of the lines that we carry is Hardin Furniture, which is actually manufactured in New York, and they've been around since 1844. So they are the country's oldest furniture manufacturer.
When you've been in business, I want to talk a little bit about Hardin Furniture, but first, when you've been in business for 80 years, is it based on return business? People just, generation upon generation says, yep, that's where we buy our furniture, or do you still actively have to look for new customers?
You're always looking, but a big part of being in business is branding. And we have a lot of people who have been coming for generations. I actually still have people come in and say, I used to work with your grandfather, which seems a little hard to believe, but most of these people that are at that stage aren't very ambulatory. So,
Wow. And what are some of the types of furniture that you guys carry?
well, our specialty is leather and Hardin, because we are the
Hardin.
exclusive dealer. What they sell are bedrooms, dining rooms, fabric upholstery, but the main thrust is still leather, and we are called Bayles Leather House.
Gotcha.
So
you do carry fabric as well.
Yes, we do.
Fabric and leather.
Yes.
And the best of leathers.
That's quality.
Leathers.
Thank you, Lana.
Alan, I have a very special relationship with Alan. Do you know why?
Do we have to say on the air?
Can we
We can share it. Alan is my anagram.
Anagram.
Say that again.
You were my anagram.
What does that
Which
mean?
is?
Which is, didn't you ever see Rosemary's Baby?
Not recently.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's taking a word and moving the letters around to make another word.
Oh, so Lana and Alan.
So
I got to figure it out.
Jeez, nice work, Steve.
Gosh, am I the ninth caller? Do I win, Joe Cola
You
Visor?
win tickets to Def Leppard.
I feel very connected to Alan.
And that's as far as we'll go with the anagrams, because there's some others that aren't so pleasant.
Are you Stephen with a V?
No, I'm a PH.
Oh, you are.
Well, and you asked that why?
Because if you were with a V, you'd be event.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So
You're
Pat-
too easy, Pat.
Yeah,
That is just, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
we don't
and,
know.
And Alex, you'd be Axel.
Axel.
Great.
Awesome.
All right, I want to get back to this Hardin Furniture business. They're from upstate,
Yes.
and they're high quality stuff, huh?
Very high quality. It's manufactured in a place called McConnellsville. Has anyone ever heard that?
Yes,
You
What's-
have?
I have heard of McConnellsville. Yes.
Wow.
There must be a bar there.
Or a winery.
Anyway, McConnellsville is about 20 minutes north of the thruway from the Canastota exit. And do you know what exit is right next to the Canastota exit, Pat?
No.
Turning Stone.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And
Good
Turning Stone's exactly 100 miles from my house, so it's not that far away.
No, it
Not
isn't.
that you've mapped it out or
No, never.
And so, like I say, they've been around since 1844, and we've dealt with them off and on for about 30 or 40 years. And the specialty, if you will, is that they have what is called 10-way hand-tied units, and that's dealing with upholstery. And just to familiarize or let people know what 10-way hand-tied units
10-way
are.
like the number and the word way? Or is it
Yes,
like
W-A-Y.
It's not all one word. 10-way.
Nope.
Okay. I get
And
you.
it's the construction that they use. If you open up a quality sofa, there's a bed of steel coils, and each one is actually done by hand, attached to each coil 10 ways.
Oh.
And they say that the guys that do this for a living can only do it for about 15 years because their forearms actually wear out.
So this can't be done by machine. It's got to be done
Exactly,
by hand.
Handmade. Very
10
nice.
ways. 10. Wow.
Wow.
And this
Isn't that kinda
introduces the thought of the quality in the product as well.
Exactly.
Okay, so because I know I've got a couch that my kids use, and it's not I don't even think there's steel in it, and it's just, and I know it was cheap, but my kids wreck it, so I can see the difference where the quality would be there with the steel.
Yeah,
spring.
Hardin has so many unique qualities about their furniture. One thing that I find that's so interesting is they grow their own forests to
Well,
make the frames for their furniture.
They do.
Wow.
They
That's
own
pretty fascinating.
20,000 acres,
20,000 acres.
That's
all in
fascinating.
New York.
Wow.
Oh,
And
that's
Steve grows his own
spectacular.
herbs.
That's like really cool.
To make pesto.
They do this outside. They don't do it in the basement like Steve
Oh.
does.
Yeah. I grow all my cilantro right here in New York. But that's very interesting. I mean, they're
that
totally
cool?
New York.
Yeah.
Totally New York. And you can go on
I like that.
Wednesdays if you order a sofa, or a chair, or whatever, a dining room set. You can go on Wednesdays and watch your furniture being made
Oh.
by hand.
That's
that's
so
cool.
Isn't that cool?
Right, the factory. That's cool.
And they actually have the sawmill right next to the factory. You can see the logs being milled, and then all the excess waste from the factory is used either for bedding for cattle or heating the factory. So it's
Wow.
Well, this is too good to be true.
Yeah.
and they've been doing this
right
for
here.
decades. It's not
Wow.
it's not in response to environmentalism. It's the way they've always done things. And
Wow.
they
That's
actually got
awesome.
Yeah, it's a neat story. They actually got their start 144 years ago by building wooden bridges. Well, in the winter they couldn't build them, so they started building chairs, and it just went from there. And they're fifth
Fascinating.
generation owned.
Does this great story and all this great quality come with a pretty steep price?
It is high end, but
Yeah.
to use that old maxim, you get what you pay for.
Seems that way.
Yeah.
Where are you guys located, by the way, on 96 or in Victor? You're
We're
in
at the corner of Route 251 and 96.
Okay. All right. 251 and 96. Okay, good.
And another really interesting fact is that, a couple of months ago, ABC Nightly News with Diane Sawyer did several stories on Made in America, which is the hot new buzz.
Yep.
We should buy American made. And they did a story on Hardin Furniture and how unique their whole situation is to the furniture business. So much of our furniture that we buy at lower end stores is made, of course, offshore.
Yeah.
And
Offshore. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's tasteful.
Yeah.
actually, you know what I think? I have a whole theory about this. I think instead of, having the furniture manufactured in, places I have visited that I would never go back, I think they should start making them. They should put the Alan, you will love this. I think
sure?
they should start manufacturing. They could put a factory right in the containers. Right?
Oh.
And cut little holes for breathing.
Live in the containers, so the containers wouldn't have to go back and forth. They could just kind of float out to sea, manufacture, and
Slip food through the cracks.
That's a bizarre thought.
isn't it a bizarre thought?
I
Yeah.
have to be honest, I'm not following.
Shipping containers.
Shipping
containers that go on the
furniture
ships.
goes
Oh,
across
I
the
get
ocean,
you.
Yeah.
back and forth. Why not just put the factory right in the
container. It's a good idea.
Lana Torre is with us. Says,
She's always thinking, Lana
wow.
Torre.
yeah, design specialist.
She doesn't sleep at night.
Rochester economic czar.
Right. Right. And friend to,
We're supposed to leave her mic on the whole show, or what?
And Alan Brand is the owner of Bayles Leather House on Route 96 in Victor. It's Property Source Radio until 10 o'clock this morning and at propertysourceradio.com. I'm fascinated with this 10-way hand-tied spring deal. If I go to a big box store to buy furniture, would it be like two-way?
Actually, they'll use nylon straps like you'll see in folding chairs. So there's
Oh.
no steel involved. There's no hands-on.
People never think of this stuff when they buy furniture.
No, they don't.
Oh.
That's right.
What about cardboard frames, Alan?
Where's the lack of education, Alan? Sorry to interrupt, Lana.
That's okay.
The lack of education with the furniture buying and the consumers. What happened? Where have we gone short? Because everybody educates themselves on the cars. Everybody educates themselves on their houses, and they know everything more than their realtor now. Why is it when I trip into all these stupid stores to buy furniture, they're all different, and I don't know the difference, except when I lift one up by the couch up by the back of the seat of it, and it flips over with one finger.
Well,
That's the only
furniture is not sexy.
Is that why?
Yes, and people are spending more and more on electronics.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nobody's ever going to see you in your living room, but they'll see you driving your car, so that people want to make a statement, and so they'll have a nice car, but sometimes they
okay.
won't have anything at home, or they'll go that route because people just don't see you. So
Okay, that's an interesting
But
thought.
it's unfortunately it's just not a
Concept.
sexy industry. There's fashion involved, but one of the problems with furniture is that it's not a fashion. People will always get a new car. They'll always update their car. Where furniture will say, "Will this last 2 decades?"
That's a good
and that's a
point.
problem.
Because we have a couch in our living room that, quite honestly, we brought with us when we moved from Boston 25 years ago. And we don't sit in the living room a lot, so it looks good there. But Julie thinks it just looks so outdated, and she wants to get rid of it.
And where's that car that you came from Boston with?
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
Okay.
It's gone years ago.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Car I
Just
bought,
checking.
bought it just
Yeah.
last June, and people seem more concerned about their car than and you probably spend more time in your house than you spend in your car.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Unless you're rushing to work, Pat Coyne style.
Without his wallet.
Wow.
Well, no, this is an interesting thought because I've always wondered. I can't tell. I go to store unless somebody points it out. A good salesperson is going to point out the differences between the qualities. But a lot of times you can't really tell. You'll just get sold a bag of goods if you don't know. Obviously, you can. Some people can tell based on price. Some people are swift enough to tell. Based on what they're touching and looking at. But
Yeah.
majority of the stuff I see, it's difficult to tell.
Well, there are consumers who shop big box stores for furniture are looking for, of course, can I have it delivered in 3 days? Does it look good? But the quality isn't there. So if you
Yeah.
want any longevity out of your furniture, and we do,
Yeah.
we want it. It's like buying a good pair of shoes or a good handbag. You buy something that will last. And, good quality furniture, because what we're seeing in the marketplace these days, isn't it, Alan? It's like cardboard frames and
Yes.
expensive foam interiors.
Oh,
One
yeah.
of the other beauties of the industry is you can customize. It's one of the last industries where you can customize. You go in, you say, "Gee, I like this frame. I want a different cover. I want to put pillows on it." You can choose everything. You can't go into a shoe store and put different laces and things. I guess you can.
Good point. Yeah.
But
yeah.
it can be very customized still.
Look, there are furniture stores for everybody. I mean, let's be clear here. Some people are at a certain price point, but the thing that I'm getting is look before you leap.
Exactly.
Make sure you know what you're buying before you buy it, so you're not unhappy when you get it home. All right, we have to take a break. I do want to talk about the leather part of your business. I want to find. Last week we talked to the folks at Miller Brick, and we found out that brick is brick. But apparently that's not the case with leather.
That's true. Leather is very different.
All right, hold on that thought. We'll be back with more Property Source Radio until 10 o'clock here at Sports Radio 950 ESPN.